Hello and welcome to another Wineword Italy review. Today, slight difference. I've gone for a Sardinian theme. I've got some pane carasau here. I've got some Sardinian honey here, just to give it a little atmosphere. I'm not going to eat it at the moment, but I'm just using it as a little background because I'm going to try and plan out a little Sardinian feast for you and some accompanying wines from start to finish. So, here we go. First of all, the wines. All of them are produced by Giovanni Cherchi in Usini, near Sassari, in Sardinia. And first up is a Vermentino di Sardegna DOC with a difference. It's called Filighe, and it's made using the classic method of spumante production. Here we are, there's the label, Vermentino di Sardegna, DOC Brut, Vino Spumante di Qualità Metodo Classico. Okay, there it is, there's the back. And as it's 1 year's production, it's a millesimato effectively, then it has a date, 2010. So, let's get it open while we talk a little about the wine. It's Vermentino 100%. Okay. Grapes are harvested in 2 batches, mid-August and then in early to mid-September. The must ferments at 17 to 18 degrees, and then it matures in stainless steel vats and then used oak barriques for a further 6 to 12 months. This refinement of at least 9 months minimum gives the wine good richness and complexity. Okay, so let's pop it open. There it is. Look at that there. You can see the carbon dioxide coming out. It's a natural fermentation process. No carbon dioxide is pumped into this. I've had it in the fridge, ideally served at about 10 to 12 degrees. I hope it's cold enough. It's been in there all night, so it certainly should be. Let's have a look what we're getting in the glass. Well, that is splendid. Got a real depth of colour there. A real depth of colour. See the bubbles coming up, maybe not so easily because it's very warm and quite humid, so there's a lot of steam forming on the glass, but if I can wipe that off a second, you can probably see the bubbles are very fine, prolific, continuing to rise. We can see it's a classic method. It's been used to produce this. Let's get the nose in. Ooh, lovely. We've got almost peary, appley sort of smell. Certainly verging towards the pears. There's white flowers. Oh, it's a delightful light aroma coming up there from the bubbles. Let's get a taste going of this splendid concoction. Chin chin. Wow. Oh, it's fresh, it's clean, smooth. Slightly bitter aftertaste, that's the Vermentino, obviously, but what a clean taste. Truly marvellous. My word. Let's have a look. It's no light concoction either. It's 13.5% by volume, so don't glug it. A small glass like that is more than enough. And what can we have it with? Well, it is certainly the aperitif par excellence, or serve it alongside some dishes with vegetables in oil, aubergine or eggplant in oil, peppers in oil, different mushrooms, this kind of thing. It would make a splendid start to welcome your guests to your home when they come for a super Sardinian evening. So Chin Chin, there's wine number 1. The Cherchi Filighe Vermentino di Sardegna DOC Brut, and it's a Metodo Classico Spumante. So, on we go with wine number 2. Next up is Borghese, which is an Isola dei Nuraghi Bianco, 2009. Once again, it's 100% Vermentino. This time the harvest is slightly later than the main Vermentino batch, resulting in slightly overripe fruit. After fermentation, the wine is refined in oak barriques on fine lees for about 6 months. So it should be something rather special. Let's get it open and give it a try. It's interesting to see that one producer can make so many different varieties of wine using only one variety of grape. True craftsmanship. Here we go, here comes the cork. Yes, certainly first scent is barrel there rather than bottle. There we are, there's the logo on the cork. Rather nice design. I finally remembered to include the photographs, one of the logo and one of the Church of Santa Croce in Uzzini. So wait for the video. It's at the beginning of this video. I think you'll have seen it already by the time you watch this review. Okay, let's crack it open, see what it looks like. Now then, what have we got here? Well, this time the colour is rather different. See, the time in barrels has had its effect. Rather than being that very pale straw yellow, it's slightly more golden hint than a green hint around the edges there. You can see that. I don't know how clear that's coming, but there it is. Okay, so sort of pale straw yellow, but a golden hint rather than a green hint. And we're talking here about 14.5% alcohol, so it's a fairly strong concoction. Let's get the nose in and see what we get here. Whoa. Certainly fruit, certainly white flowers, but also there's a background there of some vanilla. Again, I suspect that's from the barrels. It's more than a background, in fact, if we open it up. But although there's a high alcohol level, it's not overpowering. The wine is chilled. It's been in the fridge most of the night, so here we go. Let's have a taste and see what it's like. Chin chin. My, that is like a world away from the Vermentinos I tried recently from the same producer. It's full. It's smooth. It's fresh. And yet there's a lot of different flavours going on in there. It's absolutely marvellous. Yes, there's the fruit, there's the floral element, there's the vanilla, there's the warmth of the barrels coming out. If I may say this, and somebody will probably shoot me down in flames for saying it, but it's a white wine that's got as much structure as many good red wines. Obviously not the same, but it's got that sort of complexity to the taste. Absolutely wonderful. And in my Sardinian super supper, what would I have with this? Well, I've had the antipasti, I've had my aperitivo. Let's go on and we can have this with a fish soup, or grilled fish, or a pasta and a crab dish, or a pasta and lobster dish, or even some crumbly cheese-based recipes would go very, very nicely with this full white wine. So there it is, wine number 2, Borghese, Isola dei Nuraghi Bianco 2009. It's an IGT, coming in at 14.5%, once again from Giovanni, Cherchi in Sardinia. Jolly good. Chin chin. Okay. We've had the aperitivo, we've had the first plate, we've had the starters. What are we going to put alongside the main course? Well, let's bring out Cherchi's big gun. This is a Cannonau di Sardegna DOC 2008. There it is, 100% Cannonau grapes. Okay, they're hand harvested in late September to early October. The grapes are de-seeded, pressed, and fermentation with skins on lasts for 8 to 10 days at 25 to 28 degrees Celsius. Now, the majority of this wine is matured in stainless steel, with only a small percentage, about 5%, going into oak barriques and matures for 6 months. It's then fined and filtered before being bottled. So let's crack it open, see what we've got. My last review, we had the blend of Cannonau and Cagnolari. Aha, let's see what the straight Cannonau is like from this producer. Okay, let's pop some in the glass. Well, that's a beautiful colour. Straight away, we're dealing with something very, very nice indeed. Okay, it's a ruby red, violet edges. It's not an ancient wine, but it's got 3 years. So a little bit of warmth in the colour as well, not as violet as it might have been maybe 12 months or 18 months ago. So there it is. Nice ruby red, violet edges, and the alcohol coming up the glass. It's 13.5. It's actually lighter than the white wine we just looked at. So let's get the nose in and see what this is about. Ooh, warm, ripe fruit, possibly blackberries, similar to the ones I picked yesterday. Certainly plums, something else in there as well. Taking me back years, that smell. Quince, that's what it is, and I haven't smelt those for ages. There was some in my mother's front garden. Okay, and it's the overall sort of jammy effect, but it's not as rich and jammy as the blend was. Anyway, so there it is, and quite a dry sensation as well in the nose. But it's fruity, but sort of dry scent. Let's have a go. Chin chin. Very dry, but it's still full of flavour. Fruitiness is lingering. The blackberries are there. There's an acidic touch to it as well. But a sort of light tannic taste too. It's a sort of interesting mix. But overall, yes, it's a big dry, rich flavour. My word. Interesting, but would be much better if it was drunk alongside the meat that it so readily deserves. This would be okay with white meat. It's not an ancient matured Cannonau. It's relatively young. So white meat or lean red meat joint or a medium mature cheese would set this off nicely with a selection of fresh seasonal Sardinian vegetables. So there it is, your main course. Cherchi Canonau di Sardegna, 2008, 13.5% volume, 100% Canonau grapes. It's a big gun. Don't take it lightly. It's a serious wine. Chin chin. And to round off your super Sardinian dinner, certainly last, but by no means least, despite its diminutive size, is this. This is Toccaterra Vino da Uve Stramature, once again from Cherchi in Sardinia. It's a passito wine, a sweetened wine, naturally sweetened, and comes in a small bottle for reasons of strength and so on. It's 15% volume, but it's a very sweet concoction. Once again, it comes from the Vermentino grape, another product from the same grapes. Incredible, but true. So, let's get some out and into the glass. A very special concoction. What a glorious scent even coming off the cork there. Like I said, 100% Vermentino. Overripe fruit. They're left on the vines until mid or late September to early October. They are pressed lightly and mashed for 48 hours. There's then a slow fermentation process at 18 to 20 degrees centigrade. Every year each new wine is decanted and then rested in barriques until it's needed for bottling. So it's a nice slow, gentle process throughout. There it is. Have a look at that. Absolutely delightful colour. It's a clear yellow gold with an almost amberish hint there. Not as dark as some of the white passitos I have seen, but it looks like liquid gold. Look at that. Absolutely splendid. I hope you can see that to its true effect. Okay, let's get the nose in and see what's going on in this fine, fine preparation. Ooh, totally aromatic. Dry, ripe fruits. I've got vanilla, cinnamon, so sweet spices coming out there too, maybe even a hint of clove. Oh, it's mouth-wateringly superb. That's a wonderful blend. You know, the barrels are putting their bit in, the fact that it's extra mature, it's ripened for longer, and yet you've still got at the background the Vermentino hint, because that's what it is at the end of the day. Chin chin, let's give it a taste. Wow. It's sweet to begin with. It's super smooth. There's a slight bitter aftertaste there of the Vermentino as that goes down. But it's full, it's balanced, and because of the sharpness, if you like, the slight bitterness of the grape, it's not unpleasantly, it's not sickly sweet. It's something very, very, very pleasant indeed. And one which you can enjoy with a really good, mature Sardinian pecorino. Get something really top of the range and have a drop of this with it. Or go the other way, be more traditional, and go for some Sardinian sweets, something made with almonds or a really sticky biscuit or something like that. But anyway, there it is. Round off your Sardinian feast with a glass of this. There it is. Toccaterra. Probably difficult to see the label, bearing in mind the lighting. Okay, Vino da Uve Stramature. Extra ripe grape wine from my good friends at Cherchi in Sardinia. Chin chin, and see you very soon on Wineword Italy Reviews. Bye bye.